What's good, everybody? Back once again, and while the off season going, and until we hit free agency, thought I'd go through a couple teams and direction of the off season, and maybe what they could do or whatever what they might need. But today I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks, the Knickerbockers. Um, I was like, so the Jalen Brunson signing, great, kudos. The Josh Hart trade, awesome. Yeah. But I think sort of what we sort of got through the playoffs is okay. So now they don't play the young player. They don't sort of got what sort of like got to see what they are. Quickly was in the sixth man of the year war. I was like, he seemed like a young dude that could get hot. Uh, I don't think he had a really good series really against the Heat. But he's streaky, he can heat up. He's your six. He's a six man. Like that's sort of what they do. Um, I was like, but I was like, obviously there's still a question about Randall, but I don't think they're gonna keep Randall until I was like at least this year he's gonna pretty much be there. I think they need to get one more score. I was like, I don't like not no big moves or nothing crazy. Um, I don't really think there's nobody out there that I'm like, you package up your young dudes and you try to, man. I was like, to me, I was like, I don't really know and afraid to see like what they should really get because they're sort of like a funky team. Like you got Brunson, Barrett, and RJ. Those are your big money and people. And RJ was here and there a lot more. I was like Randall had a little bit of an ankle injury, but he was a little bit he was up and down in a different way than Barrett. But I do think that they need at least another person they can get off the bench um, that can just score on the way like how Brunson sort of scores, where you sort of know like okay, I'm consistently getting 15 points from this person, but it's from Hart can score, but Hart's not a scorer. You get what I'm saying? A lot of his stuff is getting extra rebounds, hustle plays. Like he got the spot up three. I was like he's a slasher. Like he gets the points in an arrangement of ways, but he's not I'm like you've seen sort of with the Heat. I was like Brunson kept on being able to score, but there was nobody else really there with him to match any of that. That's sort of what you want RJ to be. And when RJ got it going, he got it going. But if he don't, which a lot of times he don't, Randall's sort of the same way. Like once Randall got it going, but if he don't, so that's why I think they need to go and get uh like somebody on see, because I was like, the problem is that since you got quickly, you can't. I was like, to me, somebody like Clarkson is a little bit like it's a little redundant to have both of them in that situation. Um, so I was like, so it's like it's sort of hard from that aspect, and they also need someone who can shoot threes. I mean, because they got people that is like Fournier, he ain't play. But he's like on an expiring deal. He's like on that like Chris Paul thing where it's like it's a team option, not the Chris Paul thing where it's like a partial guarantee, not like a team option. But I think they should get shooting, scoring, and I feel like another defensive dude can't help. The problem is that there really nobody. I mean, unless you flip Fournier for somebody. Like to me, I would think of somebody like Doug McDermott with the Spurs. I was like 3-point shooter, 6'8", bigger dude. Cause they also got a lot of small guys too. Like Randall's like 6'9", and he's at your power forward. I was like Mitchell 6'10", uh, 6'10", somewhere 6'11", somewhere like that. So it's like, but he's a beefier dude. And Randall's sort of like beef as well. So that's what they make up for it in that way. But McDermott's like 6'8", so he can play the 3 and the 4. He gives you 3-point shooting, and I feel like you can send Fournier there, and it wouldn't cost much or nothing. Maybe they want to keep McDermott with Vic, so that's sort of something. Maybe they could snag somebody like uh Dorian Finney-Smith from the Nets. You know, like I feel like he'd be a good dude. Where it's just like, because they don't really have a defensive play. Like Grimes, I was like, it probably they're better one, but he's also like 6'4" or whatever. He's not, you know. I was like Hart could do it, but Hart's also like 6'5". So I'm trying to think of like bigger people that can take on more challenges. But like once some of your starters is not in there and out. But he also has gotten better as a 3-point shooter. He always get better as the years have gone on. So I was like, I don't think somebody like him over somebody like a Jay Crowder or something like that. Like I don't think Jay Crowder I think he'll be fine on the Knicks, but I wouldn't want to choose on the Knicks because you also want to get because I'm like Crowder, somebody that needs to go to a contending team. So Finney-Smith, I feel like he's a little bit younger and he could fit with this team. I was like, because you need a vet, somebody not old, but not somebody that's like not within their window. Yeah, I was like maybe days was still like Max Struth, but I was like that's a little bit that's a lot more restricted free agency and all that stuff. But no, that was like that's sort of what they need. But a lot of that's going to have to really be done through trades. There's not really a lot of people on the open market that's going to be out there willing to go. Uh, yeah, but man, I do a lot of yeah buts. Anyway, that's gonna stay in. Uh, but yeah, so I was like, it's not. I was like, it's not that I don't have people, I guess, really for the Knicks. It's more so that figuring out what the Knicks are doing, because out of the few teams, they're sort of the ones that's like you could tell they're wanting to get somebody big at some point, but they're not gonna pull the trigger yet. But you also don't want to get your money tied down to nobody either, because you don't want that stuff where it was like Fournier getting them big contracts and stuff like that again. So it is going to see how they move, and I don't think they're going to be big time players in any free agency. I think they're going to be more of like at the end kind of thing with this team. They don't have the means to go out there and like snag anybody that I feel like is going to be like a good amount of money. I was like, no, that's too much pipe dream. Anyway, yeah, I was like, they got to figure out what's going on with Randall and stuff. Yeah, they got a little bit more problem. Me, I was like, I don't. It's going to be. I feel like it's hard to trade Randall when he just made All Star and third team, and he's been with the Knicks. He was the one that helped turn the Knicks around. Then they didn't go nowhere, and then Brunson came in and that put him back at a high level. Even though we all know with Brunson, pretty much what that was the team. But but to me, I was like, between Kuzma and Randall, are they really that much different? Cause like Randall, I was like, Kuzma gonna get up shots, but they're probably about around the same way. But you know, I was like, Kuz gonna get his money, and that's that. He's not an option. I was just talking about him. But anyway, that's it. I was like, if you liked anything here, I was like, I appreciate it. Thanks. If not, hey, maybe next time. But until then, peace. I'm out.